Hello friends, I am here to talk about my March TBR. We're already over a week in March, but getting my bearings here on YouTube, and I see from my first video to the second one that I have 8 whole subscribers, and I'm really excited about that because I didn't know if I'd get any. So welcome 8 friendly people, very happy that you're here and hoping that we add to the family. So let's talk about what I'm reading this month and the theme. I love a good theme. So that's part of why I have been enjoying BookTube so much, is because I like structure. I'm a librarian, so that makes sense. So we have mysteries for March, and I love mysteries. So I created a little stack. I certainly read a lot on my Kindle, but I also, especially where things are available in large print, I tend to buy them in print because I do very much enjoy a physical book. And this month I have all of the books I'm reading in physical edition. So I will show you those. I'm gonna figure out how to put the little picture up there when it's something I don't own in physical format. I'm gonna figure that out. I don't know how to do it yet, but we'll get there. So let's talk about March and what I pulled. I created a little pile. So let's get into it, and we're gonna need the glasses since I'm gonna be reading the back covers. So the first one that I pulled is a love-inspired suspense, which is Undercover Baby Rescue by Maggie K. Black. Large print, because that's definitely what I need, or larger print. I love how Harlequin has those options for larger print. And I have had this one on my shelf for a while. So it's from January 2024, and I noticed that this is a newer book, and you can see that they changed the physical copies a bit, so they're a little bit smaller. There we are. They don't have quite as much width, and they're also a little bit, the bookmark is obscuring it a little bit, but they're also a bit shorter. And I find that they're a little bit harder for me to hold and read. My eyes are definitely not what they used to be, sadly. And so this new format, because it's a little bit more luxuriously large, it's definitely easier for me to read. So this one has been sitting a little bit. I've been trying to get through the more recent category books that I have that are this older format from before they made this change in the past year or so. I've been trying to read these and kind of clear them from my queue. So that's why I started with this one, but I have to say this book is awesome. I just made a note of the author and added some of her upcoming books to my wish list on Harlequin because, again, the librarian thing, I like to do that to keep track of things that are coming up. And then I'll check it at the beginning of each month to see what I want to add to my cart, as I'll order books every month, sometime before the end of the month. So this is not part of a series. It's just a standalone book. And the premise is that there's two, set somewhere in Canada, I believe British Columbia, and both of the main characters work for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, I believe, and they were engaged. And before the book begins, the hero breaks it off with the heroine. And then what happens is that he had a lot of stress in his life, some family dynamics, and his half-sister has a baby. She's kind of young, and he wants to, be there to support her. And she tells him that she wants him to adopt her baby. And he doesn't really consider it because he had broken off with his fiance. They had wanted to have a family, but now that wasn't going to be happening. And he promises his sister that he'll consider it. And as he's leaving the hospital, somebody that appears to work for the hospital actually kidnaps her baby. And so then he's working, I guess, part of this larger baby napping ring in this area. And he has to work with his former fiance to go undercover. They get a lead on a sighting of the baby. And where the baby is located is this very remote kind of camping situation in, I believe, up on a mountain. And so they pretend to be married so that they can go and act as investors for this weekend that they're having at this campsite to try to get a line on getting the baby back. And it's really good. I love the setting. I love winter settings, and this because it came out in January for the year that it came out. It's set in kind of like an icy kind of wilderness situation, and there's like all of these dark, mysterious cabins at this campsite, and some mysterious characters, and strange things kind of happening, and they're trying to get some DNA to prove that this baby is in fact his sister's child. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm not quite halfway, 125 pages in. So very, very much enjoying this one, and I was reading it at lunch and was like just gobbling it up. So I'm really excited to get back to this, actually. I don't know if how much reading time I'm gonna have tonight because I have kind of a busy day, but looking forward to at least reading it before bed. So very much excited about this. So in terms of March Mystery Madness, I'm trying to read from stash as much as I can because I have a lot of books and I'm trying to make my way through. But so I haven't been following necessarily. I know that there's sort of an international, more of a global prompt this year for March Mystery Madness, and I'm just pulling from books I already had on my shelf, so I'm not necessarily going along with the sub-themes, but I know that just reading any mystery or suspense will put us in, what's the phrase I'm looking for? But, reading along with the community as part of that theme. So that's what I'm doing with these books. So loving this one. And I have two other love-inspired suspense. I do this a lot with my glasses also when I teach, on and off, on and off, on and off. So this is the one I was showing in the newer format, Trapped on the Alaskan Glacier, because again, I like glacial, icy settings. This one is from, just last month, February of 2026. And let me see, it does not look like it is part of a series. And so she was forced into hiding after witnessing a double murder by an organized crime ring. The heroine's identity is leaked and a kill order is put out on her. Her survival is now in the hands of a U.S. Marshal, who I'm guessing is going to be the hero. And so he's trying to protect her, and they're on a glacier. So I really like that for a wintry setting. So this one is in the pile. I may not get to all of these books, and that's okay. I like to just set a goal for myself with trying to read books that I already own, and then we'll just see how I do. And it's all gravy as to whatever I actually get to. Another love-inspired suspense. This one is part of the National Park Protectors series. This is Danger in the Wilderness. This is, I believe, book 1, and I have book 2 in my cart. It just came out. So this is from September 2025, and I think the second book may have come out in December of 2025. So I need to purchase that one, and then there's going to be at least one more book. I like the idea of national park. The irony is I don't really like to camp, but I love reading about camping because it just seems very cozy to me. So I'm excited about this one. It's about a park warden, a father-son camping trip, and it turns into a nightmare when a serial killer abducts his father. So obviously an adult son and dad, it sounds like. Yes, because he's a park warden. With just 72 hours to find him, our hero turns to criminal investigative analyst Blair to identify the park campfire killer. Oh wow, that sounds really good. So very much excited about this series. And then I have 2 Harlequin Intrigues. So these are 2 of my favorite series within Harlequin, Love-Inspired Suspense and Harlequin Intrigue. I do like the Intrigues a little bit better than the romantic suspense for whatever reason, because there is more of an emphasis on the mystery in these, and I just love that. So these 2, I believe, are part of the same series, and it's called Guardians of Justice. So this is Killer on the Potomac, and I'm almost certain this is book 1. And we have our heroine is a police detective, is sure a serial killer is at work in Washington, D.C. So I really liked that setting too. I lived there for a summer. So when a U.S. senator's daughter becomes the next victim, her case rapidly spirals into a high-profile, high-stakes race led by her ex, interesting, FBI profiler Logan. And so they're trying to track down the serial killer together. So love the setting on that. And then this is Death by Data, Guardians of Justice series. I believe this is book 2. This is from December 25. Killer on the Potomac is from October 25. So this series is currently ongoing. This involves cybersecurity experts. The hero is a police detective, and one of his confidential informants is killed, and he's working with this cybersecurity expert. And apparently, there's a home invasion at the cybersecurity expert, our heroine, at her home. And he's, the hero is working to keep her safe and also solve the larger case. So, very much excited about this as well. And I think there's more books. Yes. So these are the only 2 that have come out so far, unless one came out in the last couple of months and I need to grab it. So I'll be looking out for that, but excited to get started. So those are the books in my pile. I'm not going to get to all of these, but I'm hoping to read like at least 3 of them. So, and I'm already almost halfway through my current in progress read. So that is my March list. I would love to hear about what you're reading for March Mystery Madness. I have been watching some videos, so if you have some out there, I may have seen it already. But I will love seeing your comments nonetheless. And I have been getting some exciting eBay packages rolling in from a little shopping spree that I went on because I had a little bit in the budget for it this month. So I'm very excited about that. I'll do some separate unboxing videos and have some other fun stuff coming up with what I would like to do over the spring and summer. So I will talk to you all soon, friends. Bye.